My son and I have a message for you. Except, I'm gonna have to speak on his behalf. Because my son's buried 6 feet below me right now. I'd like you to meet K. Christopher Webb. Oh, and this is his friend Dylan. And his other friend Ian. They all died under your watch. Look at that date. December 3rd, 2021. That was basically a year.
Yes, I felt sad watching this video. As a result of open borders, something happened. This lady went right to the graveyard to call out the Biden administration and Kamala Harris partaking to the election coming up, asking people not to cast their vote for this administration again. They can't afford what they did and they continue to do again. It is important I show you this video. And on this same clip, there was a video about Danny White I did few hours ago. I realized a lot of people did not see it. I will play it at the end so you can see exactly what went on.
My son and I have a message for you. Except, I'm gonna have to speak on his behalf. Because my son's buried 6 feet below me right now. I'd like you to meet K. Christopher Webb. Oh, and this is his friend Dylan. And his other friend Ian. They all died under your watch. Look at that date. December 3rd, 2021. That was basically a year that you were in office. Tasked with the one job to protect our kids and the people in this country. But you didn't do that, did you? In fact, you didn't do anything. And you know what happens when I don't do my job? I don't get to work there anymore. Funny how you still get to keep yours. I'd love 5 minutes in the same room with you and your houseplant of a partner. This isn't about politics. This is about something a lot more than that. This is about compassion, humanity, decency, integrity. This is about giving 2 shits about the kids in this country who have died at a rapid rate like we have never seen before. This is about young adults between the ages of 16 and 35, hundreds of thousands that have died since 2020 from a counterfeit pill. A lot of them not by their own doing, but all of it from drugs trucked across this country from your open borders. I know every parent that's lost a child like me is going to remember this in November. And I hope they all do. Because I will.
Yes, I pray this should not happen to anyone again. When you look at the lady, she is in pain. Now going into this clip of Danny White.
You guys are really bad. Cut through the BS. As voters, what we need to do is cut through all the BS, and you have to look at who do you think is best fit to run the country for the next 4 years. That is our job as voters. All of this stuff is a bunch of nasty BS. All of it. Who's best fit to run the country? You as a voter, that's what you need to decide. Not, oh my God, he said this, and oh my God, she said that. There's going to be a lot of that over the next several months. You guys are really bad. Cut through the BS.
Yes, to be honest, this clip is amazing. I don't always watch CNN that much, but this video caused me to do that. Danny White did something which I applaud him for calling these people out. A question surfaced about Trump shooting, and he went further to talk about what is currently going on, the media doing this, doing that. At the end of these videos, I'm going to show you exactly what happened and the hypocrisy with the mainstream media.
Joining me now, a staunch supporter and friend of former President Donald Trump, the president of the UFC, Dana White. Dana, good to see you again. How you doing?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Last time many people saw you, you were at the RNC on the stage, and it was you, not the First Lady, not his kids, that introduced the former President of the United States. And it came at a time when he had just had an attempt on his life. I wonder what that experience was like for you, and what has been the reaction to you being in that very political space?
Yeah, no, it was obviously I was very honored, and the family was very supportive of me being the person to introduce him. So yeah, it was an honor. And the response to me has been incredible. You know, people I haven't talked to in 10, 15 years, everybody's reaching out to me and you know, obviously responding on the speech.
You've known him for decades, and many people who are pundits and talking about it, they were looking at that assassination attempt and they were expecting it to change who he was as a person. When you spoke to him, did you see any change or reaction about what that experience was like for him to have an attempt on his life?
No, and you're so right. I mean, I've known people that have had those type of experiences before, and it definitely changed them. This is the most resilient human being I've ever seen. And you know, I was flying to Italy when it happened, and I was so freaked out, but I was freaked out by it. How he couldn't be, you know, how he couldn't be, like you said, changed by this attempt on his life. He's one of the strongest, most resilient human beings that I've ever met in my life. And you know, everybody thinks they're a tough guy until it's time to do tough guy things. The way that he
Yes, I don't understand why the mainstream media keep insisting on this question. I've seen this where even this Kamala Harris campaign is putting out video. Oh, look at somebody who said I've changed. Oh, he's saying this, he's saying this. They want Kamala Harris now to be going off Trump and Trump should be silent. I don't get the point here. This is campaign. Trump should be able to speak up his mind. I don't get the point with Democrat trying to say Trump has not changed. If he changed, it should be maybe in his mind, like, oh, this thing has actually changed certain aspect in me. But when it concerns campaign, I should be able to continue.
the way that he reacted to that attempt on his life was, you know, my respect level has gone even higher for him, the way he handled that. And as far as the American people, everybody should be outraged that this happened to him. If it happened to Clinton, if it happened to Obama, if it happened to Bush, if it happened to you know, Biden, every American should be enraged by an attempt on a former or sitting president's life. And the way that he handled it, I have so much respect for him.
Well, Secret Service's director has resigned as a result of the outrage that is collective bipartisanly. But there were many who thought that it would change his approach to politics and improve the approach he would take. But this campaign has already gotten pretty nasty. I think people expected it to get nasty now that there is a new head of that Democratic ticket. It's the Vice President, Kamala Harris. You know, you have joked before that politics is way nastier than sports or the UFC. But what we're seeing, I mean, there's a labeling of the vice president as a DEI hire. You yourself have prided yourself on giving both men and women opportunities at your organization. What do you think of this message that attacks the race and gender of an opponent?
Yeah, I don't judge people by their politics and you know, who they vote for or any of that stuff. And listen, I don't know Kamala. She seems like she's a nice person. You know, I have nothing against her whatsoever. And like I said, I'm not political, but do I think that she is fit for the job? I do not, personally.
But it's not necessarily about the policy. It's the approach to attacking one. I mean, I know that you are very well versed in what it's.
It's very clear she did not like this response. She never expected, like, Daniel would turn and say, oh, she cannot be that person. Daniel responded to these questions in a brilliant way I enjoy.
There was that quote from J.D. Vance, who is his running mate, talking about childless cat ladies. I mean, these are not things that are in line with enveloping perhaps women into the fold, which is something you have always stood for, you say, in your sport. Why shouldn't that be the same in politics?
Yeah, well, listen, politics are the most disgusting, nasty. It's it's atrocious what is said in politics. And the things that are being said on one side are being said on the other side.